All right, so as we're recording it, it's Friday afternoon at 4:09, and I usually don't work on Fridays, but I get a text from Owen, and he says, "Dude, wait do you see what we've done?" And we're talking a little bit this earlier this morning. I said, "Wait, stop! Don't tell me anymore. Let's put this on tape and make it a podcast episode." And I didn't want to wait till you said, "Hey, we can totally do it on Monday." I said, "Screw Monday. I love this topic. This is a great
It's
idea."
exciting stuff. It's exciting stuff.
It is, and so
Yeah,
I don't think it's anybody no secret that you and I work together, right? You own the mortgage
correct.
company that I'm a non-producing branch manager at, and been how long we worked together now? 13, 14 years, something like that.
I think if we really did the math, it might be 15, but yeah,
Yeah. So a
yeah,
while, a while, very,
yeah,
very
yeah.
successful for both of us. So, so tell us what you got going. What's our basic topic, and then I'm literally hearing this for the first time also.
Yep.
So I'm sure I'll have some questions.
So basically, here's what we've done, and I'm so proud of our internal team because this is proprietary. We built this ourselves,
Yeah.
but we have many AI agents, and I should probably think of a different word to say it than agent, but in the technology world, this would be considered an AI agent. It's got nothing to do with a real estate agent or a realtor. Um, but this is an AI bot. Let's just go with that
Okay.
um, that answers the phone
Okay.
and does pre-quals for you
As a loan officer.
24/7 for the loan officer.
All right. So when you
Correct.
say agent, another word I could might use would be employee. So I've got an
Sure.
AI
Yeah.
employee working
Yeah.
for me as a loan officer or branch manager, whatever, however you want to do it. So, all right. And so
100%.
so I don't think it's any secret, that a fair amount of loan officers have been exposed to the idea of having an AI agent, employee, bot
Correct. Yep.
answer the phone for me. Even though, and let's just stop that right there for a second. I'm amazed on
Hmm.
how few loan officers are even using that. And we're going to go way beyond that. But even the simple thing of answering the phone for us, I'm shocked on how many loan officers still aren't using that. I mean, it blows me
It's
away.
yeah, it's we've been using it, Carl, in inside of your team for 11 months now.
Yeah, I was going to say about a year.
And the technology goes through a revelation and an update probably every 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And we get a new release of some sort that moves the needle on something. But it satisfies a need, you know? We all have a need as consumers, whether you're trying to call UPS to find out a delivery or trying to call United Airlines to do something with a plane ticket. We all have a need when we have something that's on our mind to talk to somebody who can get something done, right? And talking to voicemail does not scratch that itch
No.
for the borrower or the potential
No.
borrower. They don't feel like they're moving the ball
No.
down the road.
Yeah.
And so they pick up the phone, they dial somebody else, they put their request into Google, they move down to the second highest, the third highest Google rated. They take the other business card from the realtor and call that number. Right, whatever they do. But leaving a voicemail does not satisfy the need to feel like you're getting something done. And our needs in society today are pretty gosh darn close to immediate.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
couldn't agree. And what's that stat that there was a famous study? What was, and if I have the number wrong, correct me. I think it was 79%. Like the
79. I know exactly where you're going with this. Yep.
Yes. So the closed loans go to the first loan officer they spoke to
They speak with. Yep.
79% of the time. So if I answer the
Yep.
phone first, or Bob or Sue answers the phone first, even if somebody else has lower rates, more experience, more programs, more better well known, more of
That's
a
right.
social media presence, none of that matters. The first person to talk to that person has a 79% chance of closing. And nothing I
Correct.
know of competes with that. Like that, I don't know of anything else I can do that gives me a 79% chance of winning.
Yeah,
Nothing.
because it's they have that feeling they're satiated, right? They've
Yeah.
been serviced. And so will some people call up and call another person and get another? Sure, but you're still going to win a disproportionate amount, and most people don't even call the second person if they're satisfied with the first.
I completely agree. All right.
Yep.
So we've had now for about 11 months
Yep.
where if you call into Susie loan officer or loan officer Larry, that when loan officer Larry is making a realtor presentation at a closing, or frankly,
Yep.
it's Saturday and he's at the ball game with his kid or with her kid, that
Yep.
this thing answers the phone and sets an appointment, gives
Has
basic
a
information.
conversation, sets an appointment, yeah, gives baseline information, can send out a text link to start an application, to point of sale, to blend, to simple nexus, whatever your flavor is. But we've gone like
Yeah,
a mile beyond that
yeah.
now.
So
So
now, so in the past, it would just set an appointment, and it would go, I'd look on my calendar. Oh, there's an appointment made. And one thing that we found is that once somebody calls, and I'm using air quotes, speak to somebody,
right.
even if it's an AI employee,
Agent. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
even
Employee.
if it's an AI employee, that sense of, oh, I've talked to somebody, I've got an appointment, we're moving forward, satisfies that 79% the first person that's talked to them because it doesn't have to be me that speaks to them. It's one of my employees, assistants, or in this case, an AI bot. But this
Yeah, and
goes,
we've really closed the circle on that need. So
yeah,
what we've done is we've developed an inbound AI employee. So these are for when people call you.
yeah,
So that you promote a number. I've got a 24/7 pre-qual hotline,
okay,
right? The people call the 24/7 pre-qual hotline. They get an AI agent. The AI employee identifies themselves as working for you as AI and tells them we're calling on a recorded line. I think we're all used to that now, right? As American consumers, because every time you call an 800 number, it says this call is being recorded for training purposes,
for
right?
sure.
So they go through, and the AI employee walks the borrower through the pre-qualification process. It does pretty well exactly the same thing that a loan officer would do when figuring out a pre-qualification. I'm sorry, a pre-approval. A very important distinction, right? Or however you want to use it, the
Yeah,
lesser
yeah,
of the two, right? The
yeah.
pre-qualification. And so it asks about what their credit score is. If it doesn't know, it gives words to describe. Is your credit good? Is it average? Does it need a little work? It's very friendly. And then it moves on to income. What's your monthly income? Or if you know, what's your annualized income? Then it asks the person about debt. It excludes the rent and mortgage debt. It asks about car payments and student loans
So
and
it's
credit
basically
cards.
in a conversational way, it's taken a 1003.
It is the beginning of one. Yeah.
Yeah,
And the baseline information. It asks about bankruptcies and foreclosures. And it really doesn't take that long. And it handles all the basic questions like, what do you mean monthly or annually, or this is how much I make biweekly, or now is that 7 years or 11 years on the bankruptcy? Is that and it's very conversational. The voice AI is there's almost no lag, or sometimes we've programmed in a purposeful lag. If a normal human being would take a second to think about the question,
yeah.
it's really uncanny.
Well, and
Um,
I have to. So when we were talking about this this morning, I made the statement of where were they at? Where was this AI employee at? Because I could hear faint in the background people talking. And I went, well, wait a second. Somewhere there's a mic open because I know I'm talking to an AI
Yeah.
machine,
Yep.
and I'm hearing like very faint, but I hear
Hmm.
office in the background, and I hear like as I'm giving my information very subtly, but I hear the clicking of the keyboard, like this
Yep.
person's entering in the information, and
All by design.
yeah, and I called you up and I said, dude, somebody had a mic open or something because I could hear people in the background. I go, oh no, that was programmed in
That's right.
because it sounds like a real office, and we
To
can
make it
we
even
can
more
increase
realistic.
that, we can
Yep.
decrease that, we can eliminate it
That's right.
to make it sound.
And again, it identifies itself as an AI agent and it identifies that it's recording the call. So everything is from a regulatory point of view above board. But it is a realistic experience, no
Yeah.
doubt.
So
Yep.
so I called in, you gave me a sample one of Matt.
Hmm.
So it's a guy that works
Yep.
for us. So I called in and I said something like, so I called it and it answered, and I don't know
Yep.
exactly what, this is so and so, and I work with Matt, and I'm an AI agent, and got this
Yep.
information. And and my first question was, well, I'm just calling about the rate. And it said, well,
Hmm.
rates are dependent upon a lot of things. What we need to do first is let's get some information so that
Hmm.
we can give you an accurate quote on your rate, which is all true, right? That's
Yep.
exactly what, yeah. And I said, well, I called it a couple times. Can I just talk to Matt? Sure. Hang on a second. Let me forward you to him.
Yep.
So I'm waiting. I start to hear music playing in the background. It forwards me to Matt.
Yeah.
So Matt apparently was live.
Well, it has a system. So if somebody asks, it does a live call transfer. It'll text the loan officer to their phone and say, I have a live caller.
Ah.
Would you like to take, or are you available to take the call? If you respond with a Y to the, for yes, to
Yes.
the, to the text, then it transfers the call.
Interesting. Well, that's what happened in this case.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Next thing I know,
Poor, poor
Matt's phone.
Matt's our AI programmer in this
Yeah, yeah,
instance. He's
yeah.
probably like, why is Carl White calling me?
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, no kidding. So then I
Yeah.
called another time and I said, hey, instead of giving you the information, can you book me an appointment for oh no, it said Matt's not available right now, but we can proceed forward. And I said, well, when can I talk to Matt? Well, when
Yep.
would you like to? Well, how about like this afternoon?
Hmm.
Second, let me check his calendar. And so then it went on apparently onto his real live calendar,
Yeah.
picked a time, set me an appointment to talk to Matt. I'm taking it. Matt got identified of that, and Matt would then,
Man,
call.
immediately gets identified.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as the call is completed, the loan officer gets a AI summary of the call and the actual call recording emailed to them within like 2 minutes of the call hanging up.
Wow. It was
So,
impressive. All right, so I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate here. Hey, wait,
mhm.
before I do that, right before I hit the record button, you were getting ready to tell me a story that you were talking with somebody. What
Sure.
does that
Well,
somebody?
for those of you that are listening that might not know, I am the current MBA chair elect for the National Mortgage Bankers Association out of Washington, D.C. So the National MBA represents about 2,700 member companies, about 375,000 mortgage employees.
Pressure.
And in that capacity, I get to meet and develop relationships with some really cool people. So about a year ago, I had a conversation over breakfast with Bill Banfield, who used to be the CEO of Rocket.
Okay.
And we were having, which is a company that I have a ton of admiration for,
Oh,
by the
yeah.
way. Um,
Yeah. Number one's number one for a reason, right? So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But they, of course, developed a chatbot at the bottom of their
Website.
uh, website. And the whole idea of the chatbot when they originally got brought it out was to funnel it to a live loan officer, right? You would go through 3 or 4 questions and then it would suggest you get on the phone with a live loan officer. Well, after doing this, they programmed in after you talk to a live loan officer, the loan officer asks if they want to go back to the chat. And they found about 20 to 25% of the people want to go back to the chat. So
Mhm.
this is a little bit like for some folks, this is a little bit like a confession, right? It's easier for me to talk to you about the fact that my credit might be challenged, that I don't know if I have enough money to buy a house, that maybe I had a bankruptcy and I don't know how it affects my future ability to buy or a foreclosure, right? This is for some folks, some meaningful percentage for some folks, this initial call is better with an AI agent than it
They
is
would
with a
rather
loan
talk to a
officer.
computer than a human
Yeah.
being because a computer is not going to judge me, and a human being
You
is.
know, it's a little like I don't know how many Catholics are listening to this, but it's a little like if you could go to a confession with an AI priest, like would it be a
Yes.
little easier,
A chat
right?
GPT, confession to
That's
chat
right.
GPT. And frankly, what would you say to chat GPT that you wouldn't to another human being?
Yeah.
You're researching this. So that's very interesting. Because I was getting ready, like my devil's advocate was, well, wait a minute. Don't I want to just take the app myself? Like
Of
if I'm a
course.
loan officer,
Sure.
don't I want to take the app myself?
Well, two things. Number one, yes, right? AI is not a replacement for you. Loan officers out there, you're the prize, right? But this is meant to force multiply your time, and this is meant to add more mortgage conversations to your life, which will hopefully lead to more applications, more closings, and more commission checks, right? So if you are at your kid's baseball game, or you are meeting a client, or maybe you're helping with running around to 5 open houses for realtors and you can't get all the calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is designed, and within the call, you have the opportunity for a live call transfer.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, you are the prize. You are the best person to talk to the borrower. This system is meant to funnel them back to you.
So in other words, is it better to have for them to go to a voicemail or for somebody, and I'm using air quotes here, somebody else to start to get information and maybe provide some very loose information to them, at least like they're going forward, rather than just leaving a voicemail.
100%. And let me tell you about one other cool thing that it does,
Tell me.
okay? I'm really excited about this. So after it calculates what they might be able to pre-approve for, and this system was designed by Allison Johnston, who works in our office, who's a 25 plus year underwriter, right? So it's got some meat on the bone.
Yeah.
Um, and so it gives them a number and it'll give them a pre-qualification letter. And so what happens is it sends them an email with the pre-qualification letter. They link to download it. They have to click on a box to accept the terms and conditions, right? Of getting the letter. When they accept the terms and conditions, that person goes into their Total Expert. We use Total Expert for CRM. The terms and conditions give us TCPA compliance. So we can call them, we can text them, we can
Mm-hmm.
do all those things. And it gives us permission under the new law that just took effect on March 6th of 2026 to monitor them for trigger leads.
Mm-hmm.
So even if we don't get that client that time, we now have the ability to call them. We have the ability to text them either originally by yourself or with an automated computerized system. And we have the ability to watch them for mortgage triggers and mortgage trigger leads now in the post trigger lead legislation world are extremely valuable. We could do a whole hour on that, but that's not the purpose of this call. But you get all that. So they have that pre-qual letter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've now satisfied their need, right? They have what they were looking for. And all this happens in minutes. It can happen at 2 in the morning. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. It really is next level.
So how do I? All right, this is very interesting. So I'm just thinking some thoughts in my head. So
Mhm.
do I? do I put two phone numbers on my card? Like this is my office line and this is my 24-hour,
That's what I would do.
24/7
Yeah, that's what
pre-approval
I would do.
hotline?
Yeah, because I would never want to set this up where this was your only number,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because that would get annoying to your current borrowers. It would
Yeah.
get
Yeah. Yeah.
annoying
Yeah.
to your realtor partners. I would list your number as you normally do right now, and then I
Yeah.
might say, or call my 24/7 pre-qualification hotline.
Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free, cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next.
You
Hmm.
know,
So when I'm on this thing, will does it give me a number at the end of my application? So, all right, Carl, it looks like you are
it does.
pre-qualified
It gives you an
for.
approximate number, but that number is fixed. We take it through a algebraic equation that is, of course,
Okay.
dependent upon the other things. And, we're guessing at an interest rate, although we don't say interest rates. This will
Right,
not in
right.
any
Mhm.
way, shape, or form, but
Yeah,
in the
I tried to
internal
get it to
behind the
spit me.
scenes calculation,
Yeah, I
right?
tried to get it to spit me out an interest rate. I was trying to
Yeah,
trick it up, and
right,
I was impressed on how it. I'm not going to say dodged the question, but it gave rebuttals to the
right.
common questions
But
about rate.
we moderately figure that out, and of
Okay.
course we say approximately, this once, loan officer Sally gets the verified information, this number could change. But yes, it does give them a number because we want to satisfy that itch,
Mhm.
right? That they've accomplished something. We want to give them that feeling that I talked to loan officer Bob. Loan officer Bob is the first person that I talked to, 79% close rate, right? And that I've satisfied that need, that immediate need. I feel serviced. And
Mm.
then, of course, loan officer Bob has the opportunity for the live call transfer on the call, and within minutes, um, gets a email with the AI summary of the transcript and the actual call recording.
Very interesting. Hey, let me ask you this.
Yep.
I don't know how likely this would be, but I'm just curious. Let's say somebody's calling and they're talking with this, which is about a probably a 5 minute conversation to give the information somewhere. I'm just
Yeah.
5, 6, 7 minutes, something like that.
Depending on how many questions the
Yeah,
the
yeah, for
person
sure.
has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if somebody else calls during that time?
Oh, it just keeps answering.
So it can be, and I'm using air quotes here. It can be talking to more than one person at the same time.
Oh yeah, it's AI. Yeah.
And
And
so it can be having a conversation with consumer Susan, and then if somebody else calls in, it still rings and it answers, and so it can have two or three conversations at the same time.
yes, the AI bot is amazing.
Wow.
It does not give a busy signal to
Right,
to
right,
anybody. It
right.
could handle 100 calls at the same time.
Very interesting.
And I'll just say, Carl, we've had this rolled out for a few weeks now. I've had more than a dozen loan officers in our organization tell me, "Hey, I logged into Encompass. We use Encompass as our LOS. I logged into Encompass and I had a loan, or I had two loans, and I was like, what is that loan doing there? I don't know anything about it. Um, and I don't know how I got it, and I clicked on it, and then I went back into my email and I looked, and as it turns out, they called the 24/7 pre-qual hotline. 24/7 pre-qual hotline, because we have the person's cell phone because they called in, automatically texts a link um, to the point of sale system, right? So they get a link. So the potential borrower calls, gets their pre-approval letter, loan officer gets all the information emailed to them. Potential borrower gets sent a link to the point of sale. They click on it, fill out the application, it pops into their Encompass pipeline, and the loan officer doesn't even know about it yet. You know, it's it's it's, it's amazing.
I'm trying to find some holes to poke into it. The only ones I came up with so far, well, yeah, but what happens if they get it busy? So it doesn't do that.
Nope.
Uh, well, wouldn't I want it to be me? Yes, but when I'm not available,
Hmm.
that's when it
And we've
answers.
designed it around being you,
That's
right?
very interesting.
But unless you're going to take every call 24/7, it can't be you. Everybody has that problem right now. The
Hmm.
only question is, does this system improve upon that
Hmm.
problem?
Hmm.
Right? And it obviously does.
Hmm. And did you say? I know you said it, but I was thinking while you said it. Does it text me that I got a lead, or does it email me I got a lead? Like, how do I know I just got an application in?
So the texting will occur when it's trying to give you the live call transfer.
Okay.
So you know you had a call because you get the text about the live call transfer, and then the email with the AI synopsis and the actual call recording arrives, 2 to 3 minutes after the borrower hangs
So
up the
so I
call.
can actually go and listen to the recording if I want to.
The
Like
whole
if I
thing,
like,
yeah.
very interesting. Wow, that's impressive.
Well, we've made inside of this year in our company about this for our loan officers. Our mission, our company's mission, the mission we're executing every day for the people on your team is we are providing a platform for more mortgage conversations
Hmm.
because more mortgage conversations is going to equal more applications, which is going to equal more closings and more commission checks. So our corporate team has been on a mission to get more mortgage conversations for our loan officers and mortgage applications, right? And so like I don't know what analogy you want to use. Like if you have a child who plays t-ball, like we're putting the ball on the tee, you know. We're doing everything we can to leverage force multiply technology that gives you more conversations. Because as we often talk about, you know what loan officer closes the most? The one that does the most offers,
Yeah.
right? We talk about that all the time, you and I.
Yeah.
And this is really designed, and it's so exciting.
So I guess I would I'm just thinking out loud here. So I guess I would give that number to my favorite realtor partners,
Hmm.
like for like during open houses on the weekends or
Yeah.
just almost any time.
I tell you, I this is somewhat crass, and I'm not usually crass on a Carl White podcast, but I don't know if anybody's ever familiar with the product called Frank's Hot Sauce, but Frank's Hot Sauce has as its advertising campaign about an 80-year-old woman who says, Frank's Hot Sauce, I put that SHIT on
On
everything.
everything.
On everything. So
Yes, I put that number on
I
everything.
would put it on everything.
That's
I
very
mean, I would
interesting.
I would put it on my business cards, I would put it on my website, I would put it on my email tagline, I would put it on as a kind of like a PS or an oh by the way on all the emails that go out through my CRM. I would put it everywhere. Open house flyers.
So
What's
does
the
it
harm? What wouldn't you want it on?
so does it actually spit out a pre-approval letter to them or pre-qualification letter to them, or does it give a verbal? Well, it looks like you'd qualify for this, and then loan officer Larry's going to call you up and go over some
Right.
more details, kind of thing. Like, how does it end up?
So what the AI employee does is collect their email.
Okay.
And as soon as they hang up, the system immediately sends the potential borrower a link, and they click on the link and download an actual letter. And as we talked about earlier, the clicking of the link, see, that's very important. We don't just text them the letter or whatever. We want them to take that objective act of accepting the terms and conditions and downloading it because that's the way that we get the TCPA compliance. That's the way we get the permission to monitor their trigger leads. And if they click on the terms or conditions, it's boldly listed in there. We're not trying to trick anybody, right?
Right.
We're
Right.
not
Right.
doing anything
Mhm.
underhanded.
Yeah.
All of the permissions are there.
Mhm.
Um, but when you download an app or you download a piece of software or let's be honest, right? How many people in today's world read the terms and conditions? Not many. Um, but we send them the actual letter because we want them to go through that objective act because then we get those permissions and those permissions are going to make that a much more valuable prospect inside of our CRM.
Very interesting. Let me tell you something else that happened to me today.
Mm-hmm.
After we had this conversation, I've been a lot more aware of this. And
Mm-hmm.
so myself and or Maria made some calls today doing some stuff. It's Friday, so I kind of play catch up and
Yep.
that's when I do odds and ends, for just go buy tires for the car, whatever.
Sure.
So
Sure.
we called several companies, three of them
Mm-hmm.
we called, and it was for sure an AI employee that answered the call. Those three companies were Verizon,
Mm-hmm.
Tesla, looking to get another car, and Florida Power,
Mm-hmm.
turning on the power for a rental property we have. So I called those three big companies, and it was 100% an AI, and they introduced themselves, that way. And my point on saying this is having our customers talk to AI employees or AI bots is no longer an outlier that the big Verizon, Tesla, Florida Power, like all these big companies are embracing this. So it's no longer um, something scary for the people,
Mm-hmm.
for our consumers. They're already doing it by these big companies.
Well, and I would argue, Carl, or advocate, I think is a better word than argue. There's going to be a gigantic separation within the distributed retail loan officer community, right? And
Mhm.
that's old fashioned belly to belly sales,
Mhm.
largely from referrals,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And there's going to be a separation of those that adopt technology
Yeah.
and do it much, much better
Yeah.
and therefore yield much, much more out of their efforts.
Yeah.
And the ones that don't,
Yeah.
um, they're going to get left by the roadside. They're going to work 50% harder to earn 50% less.
Yeah.
Um, you have got to be on a platform that uses technology like this and other things that we have. This podcast could go on for 3 hours because it's not just this, but and other things that we have to add more mortgage conversations. How many deals are popping into your pipeline because of things you have running in the background? Over the course of the year, that answer should be dozens, at least dozens, right? And use it as a force multiplier. Get more mortgage conversations, make more mortgage offers, and you will make more commission checks.
Yeah.
You got to have it to succeed in the future. And it's here right now.
Yeah.
So you got to have it. You really, I'm not trying to be a scaremonger or anything like that, but in the capacity of my job as chair elect of the MBA, I literally fly around the country. I talk to people, leaders in the industry, thought leaders, technology leaders, um, all the time. And you're gonna have to have this if you're gonna maximize your income potential in the future. And really, you got to have it today if you're going to maximize your earning potential today.
All right. So, hey, if somebody wants to hear more about this or how like where can we give them a sample number? Do we have them talk to somebody? What's the best way to do
Here's what I would do. So go to talktoteamowen.com. That's talktoteamowen.com. And, I set it up to talk to people on my team because I do travel a lot, like with that MBA thing. And I just want to get this information out there. The technology is wonderful.
it?
Use
Yeah.
it to maximize your income. You deserve it.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing it, somebody else is, and they're
Yeah.
going to start eating your lunch. And we don't want
Yeah.
that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the days of, well, let me see how all this evolves. it already evolved. Yeah,
Well, I mean, listen, if you want to lose commission checks, if you want to lose possible commission checks every month, and not even possible, like we're every payroll run, we pay in the first and the 15th. Every payroll run contains commission checks from this platform. So if you want to lose commission checks while you watch it evolve, I suppose that's one
yeah,
way you could go about it.
yeah.
I'm not sure that's the best way, but hey, and put it to work for you. You deserve it.
Good stuff, man. Hey, just on another note, yeah, where are you at next week? You said something about going off. Where are you going next week?
I'm super excited for next week. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year. So next week is the MBA's National Advocacy Conference.
Okay.
And so we've got about 625 mortgage professionals coming to Washington, D.C. We're going to have 2 days of meetings with congressmen, with senators, with cabinet secretaries. And then on the last day, on Wednesday, we're going to storm Capitol Hill in a very friendly way. Um, and we have about 375 meetings set up with legislators, and we're going to talk about housing issues, and we're going to educate them. And it's one of my favorite weeks. I don't mean to get Pollyanna or anything like that, but I'm very proud and thankful to live in this country. And we have a First Amendment, and it's very sacred, and it's literally the First Amendment in action. We are petitioning the government for a redress of our grievances.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'd be
very
careful.
exciting.
I'd be careful with storming the Capitol. The last time
Yeah,
that
I,
happened,
I said that and I
that
was
didn't work
like,
out so well. Yeah.
that's in a very peaceful way. We are the
Yeah.
most peaceful stormers of any stormers.
Yes. So what do you? I don't want to get too off topic here, but like
No.
what's the basic reform? Is that another
So we're going to
episode?
talk to them about quite a few things. And this, by the way, is the exact process through which we got the trigger leads legislation passed.
Hmm.
But we're going to talk to them about implementation of the VA Partial Claims Act to give our vets the best possible outcomes when they have problems with their mortgages. We're going to talk about the recently passed but not yet signed Road to Housing Act. We're going to talk about affordability. We're going to talk about the credit pull issue and what's happening to the price of credit reports and a whole lot of things that benefit housing.
Well, I have to say it sure is nice being on the same side of the. I just in my mind I just pictured a football team,
Hmm.
and I'm glad I'm on your side of that
Oh,
team. I would not want
thank
to
you.
be looking at the opposing team on the line there and watching Owen guide that. So it's nice to
Well,
nice to have you on the team, buddy. So
I
good
tell you
stuff.
what, I love this industry. I really do. It's been great to me. It's been great to my family. It's helped me help a whole bunch of other people.
Hmm.
We get to do something really cool. We get to help families get on the home ownership ladder. We get to help families create generational wealth.
Hmm.
And we should all feel lucky to be in this industry. We really
Hmm.
should.
Yeah, good stuff, man. All right, cool. I think we
All
kind of
right.
covered it here what we're doing, and I got some more information from my own personal self. What was that website one more time here on the way out?
Talk to teamowen.com.
All right, sounds good. I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, Carl.